Hi everybody. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the last topic that is there in chemical coordination and integration, and the name is about the mechanism of hormone action. Okay, mechanism of hormone action. We are going to discuss about the mechanism of hormone action, and throughout this chapter we studied about different types of glands, endocrine glands, and their hormones and their disorders that we have studied. And now we are going to see how they are working out, how they are functioning in the body when they are released. So that is mentioned as here as what? Mechanism of hormone action. Now as soon as the hormones are released, as soon as the hormones are released, these hormones bring up their effects binding to the target tissues. They bring up their effects binding to the target tissues. So here the hormones, when the hormones are released, they will be binding to the tissues. So on the tissues now there will be certain proteins. There will be certain proteins which are specific for these hormones. So here when the hormones are released, they are reaching the target tissues. Now on the target tissues there are certain proteins that will be there. That will be there present. And now those proteins which are identified or which will bind with the hormones are called as the hormone receptors. Hormone receptors. Proteins to which the hormones will bind are called as what? Hormone receptors. Called as hormone receptors. And these hormone receptors can be of two types. Like the first one is membrane bound receptors. Which means if this is the cell membrane, if this is the cell membrane, now on the cell membrane you can see the presence of a protein. You can see the presence of a protein, and this protein will be called as what now? Hormone receptor. And this protein, which is called as the hormone receptor, is present on the cell membrane. So here we will be calling this particular protein which is present on the cell membrane as what? Membrane bound receptors. So receptors are proteins to which the hormones will be binding, and such receptors are called as what? Hormone receptors. So receptor is nothing but a protein present on the cells or tissues, we are saying. If that protein, which is now known as the receptor binding to the hormone, is present on the cell membrane, we are calling it as membrane bound receptors, we are calling it as. And now the next one is in the same way, these hormone receptors may also be present inside the cell. Means where they are present in the nucleus. So inside the nucleus now, if the receptors means what? Proteins to which what will bind? Hormones are binding to the proteins, then that protein is called as what? Receptor. If those receptors are present inside the nucleus, then we are calling them as what? Intracellular receptors. Such receptors are called as intracellular receptors, and because they are present inside the nucleus, we are calling them as what? Nuclear receptors. They are present inside the cell. Intracellular receptors. Where inside the cell means it is inside the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, what are there? Proteins are there to which what will come and bind to the hormones will come and bind. So they are called as nuclear receptors. Nuclear receptors. Now once they bind to the nuclear receptors, or now you understood that there are nuclear receptors if they are present in the nucleus. Such are called as what? Intracellular receptors. If they are binding to the cell membrane, membrane bound receptors, we are saying. Now here when hormone binds to the receptor, we call them as hormone receptor complex. We call them as. When a hormone binds to the receptor, we call them as what? Hormone receptor complex. Hormone receptor complex. Now when these hormones, please remember that these receptors are specific. Means what? One particular hormone to one particular type of protein only. So this protein or the hormone, they are specific. So we should remember that receptors are specific. Means these receptors will not bind to all the different types of hormones. No. Only one type of the hormone can come and bind to one receptor only. So we have to remember that receptors are specific for a particular hormone. So what we have to remember here, when a hormone binds to the receptor, we are calling it as what? Hormone receptor complex. And these receptors are specific. These receptors are specific, we are saying. And now, once the hormone receptor complex is formed, it brings the biochemical changes in the target tissue. It starts now bringing up the mechanism. Okay, so it brings the biochemical changes in the target tissue. When the biochemical changes in the target tissue are seen, when a hormone binds to the receptor, it brings up the biochemical changes in the target tissue. Okay, in the target tissue. Now that means there are changes in the target tissue metabolism because of what? The hormone. So hormone now bringing up the changes in the target tissue, that is biochemical changes we are saying, or otherwise we are saying the metabolic changes. Okay, there are target tissue metabolism is brought up now. A specific metabolism will be brought up by a specific hormone, and that lead to what now? Physiological functions. Okay, physiological functions means a particular physiological function may be controlled by a particular hormone. So that's why what we are saying now, when a hormone binds to the receptor, either it is membrane bound receptor or intracellular bound receptor, okay, it brings up what? The formation of hormone receptor complex. And because of the formation of hormone receptor complex, it brings up the biochemical changes in the target tissue. And now the target tissue is showing different type of metabolism. Okay, metabolism, which leads to physiological functions. Okay, which leads to physiological functions. But otherwise, we can say physiological functions are regulated by hormones. Okay, physiological functions are regulated by hormones. A specific hormone brings up a particular or a specific physiological activity in the body. So that's why we already said in the very beginning. That along with the central nervous system, okay, along with the nervous system, the chemicals means hormones are also involved in bringing up the physiological activities we say. So here we are seeing how the physiological functions are regulated by hormones, either by the hormones binding to the membrane of the cell or by entering inside into the cell and forming as the nuclear receptors. So here this is how the hormones will be functioning. So in this we have seen the mechanism of hormone reaction or hormone action. Now we will see different types of hormones. And now on the basis of chemical nature, hormones can be divided into different groups. Hormones can be divided into different groups, and we have to remember, must and should, that we have to remember all these different groups into which the hormones are divided. Okay, so the first group are called as what? Peptide or polypeptide or protein hormones. Peptide, you know that it is the bond that will be formed between the amino acids. So when it is a long chain, we call it as polypeptide, which leads to what? The formation of proteins, we call it as. So proteins are nothing but made up of amino acids, and the amino acids are joined with each other with the peptide bond forming a long chain. So we call it as polypeptide, okay, chain. So here either by peptide, polypeptide or protein hormones, there are different types or examples that we have to remember. Examples are must and should for your exam point. Okay, so here the best examples are insulin, glucagon, pituitary, all the pituitary hormones and hypothalamic hormones. All these are peptide, polypeptide or protein hormones. This is the first group, okay, of the hormones based upon their chemical nature. And the second group is steroids. Okay, second group is steroids. The best examples are cortisol, testosterone, estradiol and progesterone. So if you are clearly observing here, here testosterone, estradiol and progesterone, okay, and the cortisol, we should remember them as what? The steroid hormones. Okay, steroid hormones. Please remember that. And now iodothyronins, means with the combination of iodine and also the amino acid. Iodothyronins we are saying. All the thyroid hormones are called as what? Iodothyronins. Okay, iodothyronins. Okay, and here the last one, amino acid derivatives. Amino acid derivatives. Directly the amino acid from amino acid they are formed. The best example is epinephrine. Okay, epinephrine. So these are the different types of hormones based upon their chemical nature. We can divide them into four groups. The first one is the peptide, polypeptide, protein hormones. Second one is steroids. Third one is iodothyronins, and the fourth one is amino acid derivatives. Amino acid derivatives. And now, as we have seen the different types of hormones, how they will be binding to the receptors, and we said that they will be forming as hormone receptor complex, and we also studied in this video that the receptors are specific, means they will be binding to a particular hormone only, but one receptor will not bind to all the different types of hormones produced in the body or synthesized in the body. So with that concept, now if you are seeing here, we are seeing the membrane bound receptors and intracellular bound receptors. Membrane bound receptors and intracellular bound receptors. Now for example, if there is a hormone, for example, follicle stimulating hormone, it will be acting upon the membrane of the ovaries, ovarian cell membrane, we are calling it as ovarian cell membrane. So for this particular follicle stimulating hormone, there will be a specific receptor. Which means this receptor will always bind to only the follicle stimulating hormone. But not to any other. So here remember that follicle stimulating hormone is having a specific receptor, or otherwise we can say, please remember that receptors are specific. Now these receptors, to this receptor, now what came and binded? Now follicle stimulating hormone came and binded to the receptor. Now remember that these hormones cannot enter inside to the target tissues. That's why we are calling them as membrane bound receptors. But once they bind to the receptor, they bring up changes now. Okay, they bring up changes inside. Means they bring up response. Means they are stimulating now. They stimulate the ovarian cell membrane to bring up the changes inside. So there will be a response one which is stimulated by the follicle stimulating hormone binding to the receptor, and generation of second messenger, means this is the first messenger we are saying. Now response 1, and now for the second messenger to carry this particular function, there will be different types of chemical substances called as cyclic AMP or IP3 or calcium ions, inorganic phosphate or cyclic adenosine monophosphate. These chemicals will be acting as the second messengers, because the follicle stimulating hormone cannot directly enter inside into the cell to bring up a particular physiological activity. So now these second messengers now bring up the biochemical responses. Biochemical responses means what? The target tissue metabolism. So they bring up the metabolic reactions inside the cell now, or inside this particular cell or tissue we say, or the organ now directly we are saying. Now they bring up the metabolic reactions inside. We are calling them as biochemical responses. So with the help of the formation of the second messengers, there are biochemical responses, means metabolic reactions taking place inside the cell to perform that particular physiological activity, to bring up that particular physiological response. So what is that physiological response that is brought by this follicle stimulating hormone? It is for the ovarian growth. For example, we can say ovarian growth. So follicle stimulating hormone is helping in ovarian growth. By stimulating the ovarian cells, bringing up response 1 and formation of second messengers. And we have to remember these second messengers. Cyclic AMP and IP3 and calcium ions. Please remember these second messengers, which are responsible inside the cell to bring up the biochemical responses, means metabolic reactions to perform a particular physiological activity or otherwise physiological response. That is, the best example here is ovarian growth. So for the ovarian growth, Okay, for the ovary growth, which hormone is responsible now? Follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, follicle stimulating hormone. In the same way, if we are seeing the intracellular membrane bound receptors, as we said, they will be present or entering inside into the nucleus. They are entering inside into the nucleus. So directly, for example, here we are taking a hormone called as estrogen. Okay, in the females, estrogen is a hormone, for example. So this hormone is directly crossing the cell membrane, entering inside, crossing the nuclear membrane, entering inside, and now to the genome or the genetic material, it is binding. Okay, so here if you are seeing, hormone receptor complex is formed. Hormone receptor complex means to the protein, this particular hormone goes and binds. So once it binds, it is now called as what? Hormone receptor complex to perform a particular function. And here we have to be very careful when we are going through this. Please remember that the hormones that will be penetrating inside like this, inside into the nucleus, are steroid hormones. Okay, or steroid hormones, or the other type of hormones are called as iodothyronins. Okay, these are the best examples that we can quote for the hormones that are entering directly inside into the nucleus. Steroid hormones or iodothyronins. These hormones help in gene expression. They help in gene expression, or otherwise what we can say in simple, chromosome function. So for the functioning, for the normal functioning of the chromosomes, for expression of a particular character in our body, it is these hormones called as steroid hormones or iodothyronins which will be helping. So here in this concept, we have to remember that steroid hormones and iodothyronins, help in gene expression, or otherwise we can say chromosome function, Now if you are saying estrogen, when it forms as it is a hormone which when it enters inside into the nucleus, it is binding to the protein and now bringing up functions in the cell. Functions in the cell directly for what? Gene expression or chromosome function. When it binds now to the genome, we say it as genome. It binds to the genome and brings up changes in the genome, or in the means it means that functionings or physiological activities. How? When it binds, now it is bringing up changes in the DNA. Say suppose if this is the DNA. So it is regulating the expression of the genes. Say suppose if this is the long DNA, this small piece of DNA can be called as what? Now a gene. Now this gene, we are taking that this gene and this small piece of gene now synthesizes a strand called as mRNA. Synthesizes a strand called as mRNA. By a process we call it as translation. By a process called as translation. So, steroid hormones or iodothyronins are helping in gene expression or chromosome function, we are saying. So, a small piece of DNA is called as the gene, and that gene is now undergoing a process called as translation to form or to synthesize mRNA. From this mRNA again, here you should remember that this as transcription. This as transcription. By a process called as transcription. And now mRNA will undergo a process called as translation, and now it synthesizes a protein. It synthesizes a protein. So this protein now here is this helping in bringing up physiological responses, means tissue growth and differentiation. So this protein will help in what now? The tissue growth and differentiation. But for the formation of this protein, what process should take place? Translation. Formation of proteins from mRNA is called as translation, we are saying. But how this mRNA is formed? It is from the DNA, a small piece of DNA. How the mRNA is formed? Formation of mRNA from the DNA is called as transcription, by a process called as transcription. But for all these process, the hormones that are now referred as steroid hormones or iodothyronins are very essential for what now? Gene expression. Gene expression means it is expressed in the form of a protein. That protein is expressed in the form of what? Tissue growth. and differentiation. Tissue growth and differentiation. So here we have to remember the most important points are steroid hormones and iodothyronics, which help in what? Gene expression or chromosome function. And here it is very clear that there are hormones which will be behaving as membrane bound receptors, now synthesizing the second messengers inside the cell, because they cannot directly enter inside into the cell to bring up metabolic reactions, that we are highlighting it as biochemical responses. And because of the metabolic reactions, now it will be expressed as the physiological response, that is for the ovarian growth. And here also we have seen intracellular membrane receptors, means the hormones which are directly entering inside into the nucleus and performing their specific functions. So these are all the points that we have to remember when we are discussing about the mechanism of hormone action.